Why would I run 100 miles? It's like in that joke. I run because I can. At the tender age of 35 or 36 years, I looked at my stomach, counted my heart rate after going to the third floor a little bit too fast, and decided that something should be done about it. So at first I was running half an hour, then apparently to Newton City Hall it was 3 miles, so I was running there and back, so it was about 6 miles. And then some friend of mine said, I wonder if we can run marathon next spring. There's only one way to find out. Let's run 27 miles. We completed it in about 4 hours as planned. On Tuesday, I find myself looking for the next marathon, and it was just like really shocking discovery because who knew I was still hurting? But there was so much excitement, there was so much adrenaline, endorphins, or just joy, or whatever it was. It was wonderful, and I was looking for next adventure. Crossing the river, running across some sand dunes, running in the brook, some grass, all kinds of exciting stuff. Last year, a few people asked me, so when will you run 100 miles? And then another person asked, when will you run 100 miles? Funny enough, it's not as much as a lot of people think. So of course you need to be very fit and very trained. The most important skill is determination, because at a certain point in your physical effort, it stops being about whether you can physically continue moving, but whether you can convince yourself to not to stop. Growing up in Soviet Union, I kinda always hated collectivist, socialist ideology of the country. It was totally insincere and totally corrupt. It was giving advantage to one group of people to the detriment of other group of people. But it was very inhumane, and it certainly wasn't nice to me. Growing up Jewish, when the power of government supports anti-Semitic policies and there is nothing else, everything belongs to government, and government happens to be anti-Semitic. You can't practice your religion. You don't even know particularly what your religion is. What can you do? You are caught. So you live in that society, you suffer from it, and you think like, is there escape? Is there a way to build your little piece of happiness within that society? And you think maybe, because there is no other choice. But maybe the door will be open.
Желтые огни, и хриплю во сне я.
So the door was open from 73 to 1980. But I was too young at the time, and I couldn't live on my own. However, I'm mildly preparing myself. So I ran a 100-mile race in Virginia, in Shenandoah Valley. This particular race is relatively small. There were 54 people at the start, and just 30 people made it to the finish line. It was just very tough because of the heat. Temperature was very high, it was upper 80s, and the humidity was 70-75. Physical exhaustion on top of that. After a while, you start having energies ups and downs. One of the reasons for that physiological change is running out of electrolytes. When you do ultra, the whole point is to avoid this condition to begin with. I just keep eating, keep drinking, keep moving. Repeat. Left foot, right foot, something to chew, something to drink. Repeat. My thinking was, I have to go fast enough so to cover the distance, not to stop on aid station for too long, but go easy enough so at any point I feel like I can run another 100 miles. When I was at midpoint, there was a smiley face drawn on the road, written half done. And at that point, I already ran almost 10 hours, and I was like, oops. In '85, Gorbachev came to power and he started fighting alcoholism of Russian society. And I still remember talking to my high school friend who was saying unpredictable social reforms will cause unpredictable social consequences. In 1988, there were gossips here and there that the department which was giving foreign visas started giving visas to Jews again. I started exploring this possibility, but it's very hard to decide because the moment you apply for visa, you can kiss your career in Soviet Union goodbye. You won't be able to work as an engineer, you won't be able to work as teacher. If visa is refused to you, you will do manual job of some sort or hang around somehow on the margins of the society. So you are very cautious. KGB is KGB and everybody knows. I'm looking, I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. Mile 75 to mile 86. These miles were particularly hard miles. There were a lot of elevation. It was getting dark. There were lots of rocks on the trail. I do remember this out-of-body experience I had, basically looking at myself from outside and thinking, what the heck this guy is doing? And what is he thinking? After being so hurt for first 3 loops, he's going for the 4th. Some friend points at the newspaper, the most liberal newspaper at the time, and it's about some teacher who was taking her class to Russian nationalist meetings. And it happened to be my teacher. My high school was like the brightest spot in my life in Soviet Union. It was the sweetest spot, the sweetest thing, and suddenly all this vomit, all this nationalist, anti-Semitic crap, and my teacher from my school takes students of it. I felt like nothing holds me here anymore. And on July 30th, 1989, I left Soviet Union. And so my right foot is swollen. I keep moving. My foot just hurts. I'm in pain and I'm struggling. I'm getting cold. I don't want to turn this race into an issue of survival. I just gotta make it to the finish. I have to make it. And in another 15-20 minutes, pain subsided a little bit. I started running as fast as I could towards the finish. It took me 22 hours. And in about another 5-10 minutes, I started uncontrollably shaking. I just remember putting on layer after layer of warm clothes on myself, and that's just not being enough. I thought I would have to stop running for a week or two afterwards. And on Tuesday, I ran with some pain, and on Thursday, I was running my usual speed. I loved it. I love the fact that I wasn't destroyed by that.
Do you see any connection between your struggle to leave the Soviet Union and your determination to run 100 miles?
After you exposed yourself to the powers that be, you can't undo it, but you can't cross the river without jumping into it. So you have to stick to it and keep pushing till you are where you want to be. I think I was young and stupid, but I think I did the right thing because the risk was huge.